Throughout all of your maternity care, you've the right to be treated with dignity and respect at all times. So these are a few steps that you can take to get heard if you think your rights are not being taken seriously. So the first step is raising a concern. Now, this isn't the same as making a complaint, which is more formal. So you might try and talk things through openly with your healthcare professional. You might explain the problem, how it's making you feel. It can be helpful to do this face-to-face, but if that's difficult, send an email or write a letter. So you might say something like, doing X, Y, and Z would be better for me because you can tell the healthcare professional what you need. And if it is reasonable, then they should oblige. It can help remind professionals of their legal duty. If you say something like, thanks for taking the time to talk to me and make a reasonable adjustment. It just sort of reminds them really of their rights under the Equality Act. If this doesn't work and your informal concern isn't heard or acted upon, you might want to make a complaint. So this is the next stage, and it's to the hospital trust probably. So what you'll need to do is show that you've tried to talk and or have written to the professional, but they're not listening. So you might need to then ask for the complaint service, their contact details, from your midwife or your local GP surgery, so you can make this contact. Now, the problem with this is that these processes can take sometimes weeks, sometimes even months. So if you need a quicker resolution, you might want to go to, the nurse in charge or speak to the practice manager or some sort of senior healthcare professional who might be able to help you. If this doesn't work, then the third step is to seek some legal advice. This is what you would do if there was no progress. And I would suggest that you contact birth rights. These guys can give you advice on, all matters relating to your childbirth rights. They can advise you about next steps to take, if your rights aren't being upheld. The fourth stage is taking some kind of legal action. So you would only do this if the problem, continues to be unresolved and you need to get some legal support from a human rights lawyer. So initially for me, the healthcare professionals, when I was pregnant, they weren't forthcoming. They didn't honour my right to an elective cesarean. So I contacted a lawyer and he wrote a letter for me on my behalf, explaining to the trust who were providing my care, what their legal duties were. And that allowed me to give birth in a way that suited my autistic disposition. But of course, there's lots of stages before you get to this one, and hopefully you'll manage to get your issues resolved sooner rather than later.